There is no end to the number of television shows where self-proclaimed ghost hunters go in the search of the unexplained. But if you believe you're experiencing paranormal activity, you want to be serious, you want educated professionals to help you, and that's where the Connecticut Paranormal Research Society comes in. So please welcome founders Frankie and Orlando Ferrante. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, what we do is, we take the most serious of cases when people are having paranormal disturbances in their home and they're frightened. A lot of times they've left their home in terror and they don't want to return without some assistance. And, they don't really want anyone to know what's going on for fear that people are going to think they're crazy. So we go in and help them out and with professionalism and complete discretion.
There must be, though, a lot of misinformation out there about paranormal researchers, and that has to be frustrating for you.
Yeah, I mean, the terminologies that are being used out there in association with some of the programs that are out there, people don't understand exactly, how real this is. For example, a lot of people refer to us as Ghostbusters, and we kind of want to try to shy away from something like that because it's more of a comical terminology to what we do. We're genuine. We really want to help people who are experiencing these problems. You
founded this in 1995, but I know you both mentioned you've been doing this basically all your life, and it's a nonprofit.
Right. I started when I was about 18 years old. Just found it fascinating, and I knew that it was a vocation, that I needed to get into this field, this work, and did a lot of research, and have grown in exponentially in experience through the years in helping families. And like I said, I've been doing this since I was 18. Between the both of us, we've got about 40 years experience, and have helped hundreds and hundreds of families over the years.
Yeah, and you're available all throughout New England. You ensure clients' privacy. So give us the lowdown on what it's like. Somebody makes a phone call, they have a problem. What is somebody typically saying to you?
Well, typically they get in touch with us through the website, and then once we get the email, we discuss the claims that they're making, and then we coordinate an interview process. And we talk to them on the phone, and we go through a process that Joe and I have ironed out, and just to get a feel of what type of person we're dealing with, and what exactly are the claims that they're making. Because to be honest with you, about 80 or 90% of the times, a lot of the claims can be explained, and that's the toughest part of this job, is to relay that kind of information to our clients without making them feel
we try to gauge from the initial telephone conversation the severity and the credibility of the person or persons making the claims, because we only take the most serious of cases. Obviously, like I said, we're two regular guys with irregular hobbies, but maybe out of 100 emails we might take 2 cases. We're family men. We both have children at home and careers, and it's difficult for us to get out. But when we get a phone call or an email, especially when there's children involved, that's a very soft spot in our hearts. There's children involved. We're out there.
So break it down for us. How do these spirits connect with you? How do you know they're out there? What do you do?
Well, we try to take a scientific approach first and foremost. We have a lot of equipment that we use that we try to pretty much validate a lot of the claims of our clients. And then there's the other aspect of it. We do deal with some credible psychics, and we try to gather information at all different angles. It's not just one area.
Is there any danger involved?
As with anything, there's always danger involved. We're really, we're not afraid, but we are very apprehensive. We don't know what we're getting into. That's why we do like to have very credible psychics that we deal with go in there, sweep the house, and say, give me your thoughts. What are your feelings when you walk through here? Is this something human or inhuman? We've dealt with demonic cases where there are inhuman entities in the home, poltergeist activity, and these things are very dangerous, and they shouldn't be played around with. And that's kind of the message we want to get out to a lot of those amateur ghost hunters out there, that they're not getting in over their heads.
Okay, you're talking about credibility, Frank. So tell us, or Joe, tell us about these photographs. You have some credible evidence.
We, in our younger years, we used to go out and take a lot of photographs. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time now in cemeteries and in businesses. This photograph here was taken at a popular cemetery with us in the Oxford area. Around this headstone, something around this headstone. Every time we go out there, we get a lot of energy, and Orlando can actually feel it because he's got a degree of psychic ability. And these are random photographs that we just take Sometimes we're not even looking into the viewfinder.
Now, what do we see here? We're in a graveyard, correct?
Yeah, it looks like the same cemetery out in Oxford. And actually, no, this one's out in Hookman Cemetery. This is out in Seymour, Connecticut. And this one has a little story behind it. We were actually there, this was a couple of weeks before Halloween, and one of our investigators, Leo, had his camera with him, and for some strange reason I was getting the sense that there was a man standing about 20 or 30 feet in front of him, and I asked him to take a picture of it. And when he took a picture of it, he was just about floored, because through his viewfinder you could see the outline inside that psychic mist of a man in a suit. I mean, you can make out the lapel of his suit. There's a little bit of a tie there in the front.
Fascinating.
Facial features, and it was a nice find.
So you're actually able to determine, here's another one we can take a quick look at.
This is something that we took out in Oxford as well. It was pretty interesting because although I claim not to have psychic ability, just from my experience I can usually feel when something's there. And I said, I feel something behind me. I turned around, I took this shot. It almost looks like a vortex type of a thing emanating from the grave that was behind me. And there was no light source. It was a moonless night, fall evening, when the cold air can't hold moisture, so it's not water droplets. Really don't know what it is, but we like to believe this is some form of spirit energy.
And here we have?
This is a really one of my favorite photographs. We use this in our seminars, and the question I ask our viewers is, pretty much how many people believe that animals have spirits? And for those people who don't believe it, they should really take a look at this photo, because inside this photo here you'll see some psychic energy, but there also are 2 dogs in this picture, and I don't know if you can see that.
Well, I certainly believe that. I have 2 beautiful dogs of my own, so that's good to know. Thank you both so much for joining us. We want to mention that the Connecticut Paranormal Research Society's Halloween lecture takes place on October 30th at the American Legion Hall in West Haven. It's from 7:30 to 9:30. There is no charge for this, but donations are accepted. Joe Frankie, Orlando Ferrante, thank you so much for being with us.